Hey, it's the Vegas Vic show here, and this is Vegas Vic. So today we're going to also talk about the statement that ICE released about what's going on with the ICE stops. They put out a statement today after the second person was killed this week, one in Houston and one in Maine. So the big thing here that I want to emphasize is the fact that they are systematically murdering people here in the United States. And they put this statement saying that they're going to suspend most. They say most. I don't believe anything they really say because up to this point they've been lying, but they're going to suspend most traffic stops. They don't need to do this regardless. They don't need to go and actually do these things that, they're border patrol. And the big thing here is they want you to believe that they're going to suspend doing that. Now, we heard that they were going to tamp things down after Minneapolis. They got rid of Greg Bovino, the short cosplaying Nazi, is what he is. He's full of hate, that man. And Greg Bovino was replaced by Tom Homan. And the big thing here is they're trying to suspend this whole thing about, oh, we're not going to do traffic stops. They should have did that from day one. Okay, they were doing that, and how many people? I think 11 people have died. And I know there's quite a few. I think 17 Mexicans that have died in ICE custody. So, how many people have to die before they announce that? Traffic stops are the most dangerous, like apprehensions. And if you talk to any federal or state police or anything like that, when you try to do a traffic stop, it is very dangerous. And my question is, why wasn't that implemented much earlier? They obviously have access to this type of training, then they don't do it. They don't care to do it. It is fear that they're trying to implement across this country. And then they back off, obviously, because they have to, because Donald Trump doesn't want anything to negatively portray him, even though he backs these things. He's loyalty based. We know that. He's been that way his whole life. But what he tries to do, I believe, is try to reward people that are so diehard for him and his administration and say, okay, I'll listen to these ideas. Let's implement them. Let's try it out. And that's what he's doing. So he's actively implementing these things in our country right now. So when they go bad, he's going to come out and say, hey, this is making me look bad. We got to pull back. Like they tried pulling back with the stuff in Minneapolis, and that didn't work. They brought in Tom Homan, and they acted like, oh yeah, we're gonna change the tactics. Did they really change the tactics? I don't think they changed the tactics. They've been doing the same thing. It's just maybe a little bit less, but it's the same. It's really the same type of stuff, and it's worrisome. I mean, it's concerning, and I think everybody should be questioning what's going on here as far as their motives. And again, they're not doing these things just to give up and say, oh, well, we're going to ride off into the sunset and everything will just go back to normal. They're not fighting this hard. And just because Donald Trump goes away, that doesn't mean that this is going to stop. So even though he is not going to be on this planet forever due to health reasons and his term ending in 2 years, hopefully he doesn't do anything erratic, but Who knows? When dictator type people, authoritarian type people get backed into a corner, feel like they're losing power, they start doing things extreme. And anybody that says, oh, no, it's just him being him, Trump being Trump. Okay, the thing of it is here is that's the trap. And we can only hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I just think it's a foretelling of what could happen here. Because ICE, I think they have like over $150 billion, maybe $200 billion with this last package. So they have military funding bigger than most countries. Most countries don't even have that for their military, and this is a military budget. So when they say, "Oh yeah, we're tamping down on things," I don't believe it. I think they're just trying to portray pulling back. Because again, if you look at the statement, it says most. It's unnecessary. Both of these men were here legally. They were on the way to work. The one was obtaining everything, but he was here working. He wasn't the target. Neither one of them were the target. So the one had everything processed in Maine. It was here. Everything was processed. The one in Houston, I believe, was going to the process, but it was here for 35 years. They were going to work, and I'm all for border security. I'm for things being done with a legal process, but the way they're going about it, they're using Border Patrol agents, unqualified people, rushed training to try to go and do these things. And it's turned out really bad. So they could have did this from day one and not do these traffic stops and be so aggressive. In the one video in Maine, they're chasing this guy and they're trying to box him in. And he's just trying to go to work. These people have families. And I've seen left and right and center creators on here saying, oh, everybody, people start saying, oh, the sky's falling. I think the sky is falling when people are being systematically murdered in the street. I think so. Just like it was about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, where people were talking about constitutional crises. It was actually in his first term. Oh, we could be heading towards a constitutional crisis. We are there, everybody. We've been there. So, yeah. I just want everybody to be aware that it's very obvious that they're not truthful. They can make up anything. A lot of these murders, Alex Preddy, Renee Good, and these last two, if we didn't have video to see what was going on, what would happen? Like what would the narrative be spun even more so? They're trying to designate everybody as everybody that's against what they're trying to do as the terrorists. They put out that statement. It was I think it's on the White House website about being anti-country, anti-Christianity, Antifa being a terrorist organization. I mean, you can see where they're going with these things. So be aware and mindful of the narrative they're trying to write. And if we didn't have the documentation, they could say even more things, and they get caught. Even in Maine, they were saying that he was part of the target that they were going for. And then I think it was Angus King came on and said they changed the narrative that, oh no, he's not now. So again, shifting narratives, shifting things, and trying to confuse people. Don't trust them. Don't trust anything they say, because up to this point they have been unreliable and they don't care what you think. They have been enabled, and accountability is pretty much gone. with the exception of the states. And I know Hawk's podcast, I know Hawk, or one of the things he said, he addressed, he stated, Donald Trump won't protect you, against the crimes you do. And he's right. Um, if Donald Trump wanted to go in and do some really wild things, he could go and try to be like, well, if you prosecute him, we're going to pull all your funding and we're going to threaten it that way. I mean, he could do some things, but it's ultimately up to the states, to do that. I know Minnesota is doing that, trying to charge the ICE agents, but they will federally likely be pardoned by him. And he's already said several times that he wants to authorize police and any type of other authority to do whatever the hell they want. And I do believe at some point you have to believe, again, the people that are saying these things. Someone keeps showing you who they are, you believe them. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's just him being him, just Trump being Trump. Is it? Is it really? Because at some point, when he's backed into a corner, he may do some really horrible things. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But just prepare yourself. Like Ryan Hall says, he's a weather forecaster on here, very popular. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Most people don't have more than 2 weeks of emergency food. Be prepared. If nothing happens, hey, great. But if something does happen, and that could come from any source, you're at least prepared. So again, thank you for watching. I'm trying to keep these videos not too long, but thanks for watching. If there's things here that you want more content on, please like and subscribe. Again, this is the Vegas Vic Show. Thank you so much for watching.